Zabit Magomedsharipov's rise in MMA. Zabit Magomedsharipov's ascent to prominence in mixed martial arts was nothing short of remarkable. Born in the mountainous region of Dagestan, Russia, Zabit was immersed in combat sports from a young age. His training began in freestyle wrestling, but it was his interest in martial arts disciplines like kung fu and kickboxing that set him apart. This eclectic training led to a style that was unpredictable, blending fluid striking with a well-rounded ground game. Zabit's debut in the professional mixed martial arts scene came in 2012, where he quickly gained attention for his unorthodox techniques and innovative approaches inside the cage. Within just a few years, he racked up an impressive record, dominating opponents with his diverse skill set. Zabit's ability to seamlessly switch between striking, submissions, and control on the ground made him a nightmare for opponents, and his performances sparked excitement within the mixed martial arts community. His blend of creativity and technical mastery showcased a new breed of fighter, one that was willing to take risks and push the boundaries of traditional mixed martial arts fighting. By the time he entered the UFC, Zabit had already made a name for himself as a rising star. His rapid rise in the Russian and global mixed martial arts scene was a testament to his dedication, work ethic, and desire to prove himself among the sport's elite. UFC debut, making an instant impact. Zabit Magomedsharipov's UFC debut came in September 2017 against Mike Santiago at UFC Fight Night 115 in Rotterdam. Despite having a less experienced UFC roster, Santiago was known for his aggressive style, which would serve as a true test for Zabit's transition to the big leagues. From the opening bell, Zabit's unique fighting style was evident. He quickly demonstrated his prowess with unorthodox strikes, flying knees, spinning back kicks, and smooth transitions between striking and grappling. Santiago tried to impose his will but struggled to deal with Zabit's fluidity in the cage. Zabit dominated the first round, using his excellent movement and rangy strikes to stay out of danger. In the second round, he continued to control the tempo, landing clean, sharp strikes while maintaining distance. Eventually, Zabit secured a dominant TKO victory in the second round, marking a successful UFC debut. This win not only solidified Zabit's UFC presence, but also earned him a Performance of the Night bonus. Fans were immediately captivated by his fighting style, which blended traditional mixed martial arts with creative, unpredictable techniques. Zabit's first UFC appearance sent a clear message that he was a serious threat to anyone in the division. His ability to seamlessly transition between techniques and keep his opponents guessing marked him as one of the most exciting newcomers in the UFC at the time.
Victory over Shaman Moraes.
A showcase of dominance. After his stunning debut, Zabit's second UFC fight came in November 2017 against Brazilian fighter
Shaman Moraes.
At UFC Fight Night 120, Marai entered the fight with an undefeated record, but Zabit's unorthodox skill set proved too much for him. From the very start, Zabit's striking was on full display. He used his long limbs and fluid movement to stay just outside of Marai's range, landing clean counters and outstriking the Brazilian. Zabit's kicking game was especially dangerous, with head kicks, body kicks, and spinning kicks that kept Marai on the defensive. As the fight wore on, Zabit's stamina and pace began to show. While Marai attempted to rally, Zabit's relentless pressure and superior technique began to break him down. In the second round, Zabit took the fight to the ground, where he showcased his grappling skills. The culmination came when Zabit secured a stunning submission win via an anaconda choke in the third round. This victory was another dominant performance, showcasing not just his striking, but also his ability to finish fights from any position. Zabit's ability to mix up his attacks and dominate in both the stand-up and ground phases of the game made him a terrifying prospect in the featherweight division. It was clear after this fight that Zabit was more than just a striker. He was an all-around threat with elite skills. Victory over Kyle Bochniak, establishing himself as a top contender. One of Zabit's most high-profile victories came in April 2018 against American fighter Kyle Bochniak at UFC 223. Bochniak, known for his toughness and ability to push through adversity, was expected to provide a tough challenge for Zabit. However, Zabit's flawless technique and superior fight IQ quickly turned the fight in his favor. The first round was competitive, with Bochniak pushing the pace and testing Zabit's defense. But Zabit's movement and fluid striking kept him ahead. Zabit's ability to switch between orthodox and southpaw stances made him a tricky puzzle for Bochniak to solve. As the fight progressed, Zabit began to dominate, using his clinch work and distance control to impose his will. The highlight of the fight came in the third round when Zabit delivered an incredible combination of strikes before landing a takedown and controlling Bochniak on the ground. His movement was fluid, his combinations sharp, and his cardio impressive. Zabit earned a unanimous decision victory, and while Bochniak proved to be durable, he simply couldn't keep up with Zabit's speed and technique. This victory helped propel Zabit into the upper echelons of the UFC featherweight rankings, confirming his status as a top contender and signaling that a future title shot could be in his sights. Creative submission victory against Brandon Davis. One of Zabit's most memorable victories came in 2018 when he faced Brandon Davis at UFC 228. Davis, an experienced fighter, was expected to be a solid test for Zabit, but the Russian fighter's creativity and skill shone through once again. Early in the fight, Zabit displayed his usual dominance, mixing striking with clinch work and controlling the pace of the fight. But it was on the ground where Zabit truly impressed. In the second round, Zabit transitioned to an incredible knee bar submission. But what truly set this victory apart was his ability to transition from a knee bar to an arm bar in one fluid motion, catching Davis off guard. The submission was a perfect example of Zabit's versatility and ability to adapt in the heat of the moment. It was a rare and beautiful display of technique, earning Zabit the submission of the night. The win solidified Zabit's and further emphasized that he was not just a striking specialist. Zabit's ability to seamlessly blend his striking, grappling, and submissions made him one of the most complete fighters in the UFC at the time. Win over Jeremy Stephens, a step closer to a title shot. In 2019, Zabit faced a significant challenge in the form of veteran Jeremy Stephens at UFC Boston. Stephens, known for his powerful striking and aggressive style, was a major test for Zabit's abilities. The fight promised to be a showdown of two contrasting fighting styles: Zabit's creative, unorthodox approach versus Stephens' heavy-handed brawling style. The first round saw Zabit establishing control, using his reach advantage and fluid footwork to avoid the power shots from Stephens. Zabit's defensive skills were on full display, as he used his range to land clean counters and avoid any significant damage. As the fight progressed, Stephens began to press the action, looking for his chance to land a knockout punch. But Zabit's movement, pace, and cardio allowed him to stay ahead. Zabit's stamina and ability to stay in control were key in the later rounds. He continued to mix strikes and takedowns effectively, keeping Stephens off balance throughout. Zabit earned a dominant unanimous decision victory, further solidifying his place as a top contender in the division. With this win, Zabit's dream of a potential title shot moved closer to reality. His performance against Stephens proved that he could handle the power of a veteran striker while maintaining his composure and fight IQ. This victory set him up for bigger challenges in the future. The clash with Calvin Kattar. A fight of high stakes. One of the most anticipated matchups for Zabit was his showdown against Calvin Kattar at UFC Moscow in November 2019. Both fighters were highly ranked in the featherweight division, and a win would bring them one step closer to a potential title shot. The fight itself was a thrilling back-and-forth contest, with both men showcasing their striking skills. Kattar, known for his boxing and precision, tried to keep Zabit at bay, but Zabit's elusive footwork and creative strikes made it difficult for Kattar to settle into a rhythm. Zabit's ability to mix up his attacks kept Kattar guessing, and he landed several clean shots that slowed Kattar down. The fight was competitive, but Zabit's overall control of the pace and variety of his strikes earned him the win. He demonstrated his versatility by mixing in takedowns and controlling the clinch, while also landing punches and kicks with precision. The fight went to a decision, and Zabit was awarded the unanimous victory. This fight marked another step forward in his career, as he proved that he could compete against top-tier competition and solidify himself as a legitimate contender for the title. Although the matchup with Qatar wasn't a knockout win, Zabit's overall dominance in the fight helped him climb the ranks even higher. Zabit's health challenges and the future of his career. Despite his incredible success inside the UFC, Zabit Magomedsharipov's career faced unexpected obstacles due to health issues. In 2020, Zabit's planned bout with Yair Rodriguez was postponed due to health concerns, including complications with his immune system. Over the following years, his health issues persisted, which forced him to take a step back from active competition. This delay in returning to the cage meant that Zabit could not continue his momentum toward a title shot. In 2021, after further setbacks and a prolonged absence, Zabit made the difficult decision to step away from MMA. His retirement shocked the mixed martial arts world, as many believed he was on the verge of securing a title shot. However, despite the disappointment, Zabit's legacy in the sport remains intact. His creativity, versatility, and ability to mix different styles made him one of the most exciting and unique fighters in the division. In retirement, Zabit has focused on coaching and mentoring the next generation of fighters, helping to pass on his wealth of knowledge and experience. His contributions to MMA, both as a fighter and as a mentor, ensure that his impact on the sport will continue for years to come. Although he never reached the ultimate goal of a UFC title, Zabit's career remains an example of what happens when talent, creativity, and dedication come together in the octagon.